Hello and welcome to this episode of In the House, the first on the Team UK looking at the squad. I'm Andy Cook.
And I'm Matthew Gunzel, and we're here today to look at who's currently in the Team UK squad, should they necessarily be in the squad, and who other people are really knocking at the door of being in that team. Yeah, we've got the list in front of us from the latest Team UK training squad, so we can't get it wrong.
Maybe. We probably can.
We're going to get it wrong. We want to apologise in advance now, I think, actually probably a good thing, or like a disclaimer.
Everybody in this squad deserves to be there.
Yeah.
We're just talking about those who probably are having to keep running, and those who are chasing after them.
And it isn't meant to be a kind of like, oh, you're shit, you shouldn't be in the squad. It's a kind of,
you're all better than us.
We want the best Team UK that can be possible, and so it's kind of like a, if you want to stay in the squad, you really kind of, should be looking at upping your game, focusing, or really kind of like, going for it.
And remember, we have no say on this. This is just two guys in a lounge chatting.
Yeah. We also, we're not Team UK level coaches. Like, I'm a coach, but I'm not a Team UK
We're not Team UK level players either. So
yeah, exactly.
We actually have no authority. So
feel free to disregard what we say completely. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, one of the main... Oh, yeah, sorry.
So, what were you going to say?
So, one of our issues... So, one of our issues with this squad is that we've been looking through is athletic male chasers. And so there's obviously some of the male chasers on here are very good, like JT, Mikey Ansel, Robbie Gorn, really good male chasers. But there's a lot of really good male chasers out there at the moment.
And what I think we were chatting about was these players are very good and can probably be on Team UK, but why are certain other non-athletic male chasers not on?
And so that links into the discussion of kind of, are, say, Mikey, JT, Robbie, those kind of players there, because they play for good teams.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, so Hugh White is a really good example.
Yeah.
So Hugh White, if you didn't know, is an athletic male chaser from Falmouth. Excellent guy.
Won't get the exposure though
because he plays
a
for
Big
Falmouth.
Five team does.
And so it's kind of like, if Hugh White was playing for Durham, would he be getting this Team UK shot? Who knows?
And again, this is like no thing saying that these big teams are breeding better players, and that's our point really.
Yeah.
Is there's really good players, but it's much easier to recognise a player.
Yeah.
Possibly because they play more, because they're getting further on in tournaments.
Yeah. And also they're playing within teams that are playing how Team UK play.
Yeah.
So like, Chimeras and Warwick, for example, at BPC final, played in a very similar playstyle to Team UK. And so you can look at a player and say, I can see how they would slot into Team UK.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're looking at kind of how Falmouth play, or maybe like how York play, and like
Leeds, Derby, you have to shape them a bit more.
Right, exactly.
And the shaping is, are Team UK willing to shape them?
But maybe that should be the point of Team UK training weekend, is that you take in players who, with the right coaching, should be on Team UK, just maybe don't get that coaching at their home team.
And I think also, what we were saying about Team UK previously was that actually it's looking at who comes next as well and what happens next. Because these players aren't... I've lost the list.
We're panicking.
But those players aren't going to be around forever, so it's actually how prepared are Team UK if the Twists and the Yans and the Haines all say, I'm done with Quidditch, I'm going to have a real life now.
Yeah.
Because apparently Quidditch is in real life.
Yeah. There's also kind of like, we had a real issue when we were kind of looking through some of the female players in this list, and we were like, oh yeah, like they're really good, but like, do they necessarily deserve it? And then you start thinking, you're like, well actually, like, I can't really name who's better, maybe that's an issue with like coverage, not covering female players, or maybe it's just an issue with how we.
Maybe that's a whole series we need to do.
Maybe, because like, I really couldn't name any really excellent female players off the top of my head aren't in this team.
I feel like, I was going to say, on a fantasy draft, if you're looking for your strong female chaser, everyone goes for someone like Gemma Fripp.
Yeah.
Which is not a negative to Gemma Fripp, she's a very good player. But people have seen her, and like Jackie as well, they're safe bets for everyone. And how much
are there female players in lower tiers who could be that good with the right work? I guess is the question. We discussed Sash already, but players like Sash, players like Frankie, with the right coaching and the right support and stuff.
Arguably, I think Frankie is one of the best non-male players on the circuit at the moment.
Yeah, no,
because they play most positions.
Frankie, by a mile and a half, is the best female keeper in the UK.
And played every single position at BQC.
Yeah, there's a thread about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, how good Frankie is.
Big fan, Frankie.
I remember seeing her at Christmas Cup blocking in the middle hoop, and keep in mind Frankie's like what, maybe like 5'4" or something, like 5'4" or something, and she like jumps the rest of that distance to get up there to that hoop.
Yeah. Somebody key, I'm changing the subject a little bit here, who we've said isn't on this is Ash Cooper.
Yeah.
Captained in 2014 and has coached this team.
Yeah.
And I was saying, is it a commitment with his degree and stuff? But he is coaching.
But he's coaching, so he's going to the training session.
So he's at the training session,
but,
he's at the tournament.
At BQC he had a fantastic BQC, like really amazing BQC.
I forget how good he is because I don't see him that often.
I think because you always see him as Dr. Ash or Ash the coach, you kind of forget that he's
Ash
such
the medical
a good
form,
player.
have you filled out my form?
Yeah. But yeah, no, like what an amazing player.
And actually I could fit him in this team so easily.
Yeah.
And he's got a proven track record anyway.
Yeah.
So that was someone we were saying was missing.
There's also like maybe some of these players who are like, are they in the team because they've always been in the team? Like Luke Twist had a great BQC. Sorry, Luke, you had a great BQC. But like, is he in the team because he's been in the team since 2014?
Will Luke Twist keep for Team UK at Global World Cup?
Yeah.
It's World Cup now, not Global Games.
Considering that he chased for Chimeras.
Because he chased for Chimeras.
Right.
And there was a subtle difference.
At which case does he become just another one of these athletic male chasers, of which there are lots of in the UK.
Already said.
Yeah. Another discussion point is about Farmer. Like Farmer, like me and you get on really well. You're a great guy.
Fan guy.
Like super cool. But like I struggle to see him fitting into this squad. Like having watched him play at the weekend, I don't really see him fitting into this play style.
I think what you were saying also, he is, I don't want to say one-dimensional, that comes across negative, but he's very much a big keeper.
Yeah.
But doesn't have as many other strings. And again, very useful player for Loughborough, and actually someone I would look at in a fantasy tournament any day.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But quite one dimension in what they can offer to Team UK.
Yeah.
And if Team UK are trying to play this pretty passing game, which they've been doing up to now, does Farmer do that?
Yeah. And maybe he does. Maybe we're bullshitting. And maybe he plays one way. Maybe he's that versatile. Maybe he plays one way for Loughborough, and then when he needs to for Team UK, he can switch that off and play more intelligently.
We're happy.
He doesn't play intelligently.
We're happy to be disproven here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd quite like to be disproven.
Yeah, exactly. I would really love Farmer to be beating for Team UK. That's my dream.
I would literally just pass the bludger to him.
I wouldn't even. I'd take the bludger from him and be like, Farmer, go and bully that human over there.
Oh no, I mean if he was against me, I'm not have the bludger. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Don't mess.
So there's also like seekers is an issue. So there's no one on this team who is like a primary seeker. Yeah, like there are players here who can seek, but they are not seekers. And
like at Europeans, Ollie Craig in an amazing tournament as a seeker and is an amazing seeker.
For sure.
But Ollie Craig will always be probably keeping on a rotation with Hull and Twist. Well, maybe not Twist is what we were saying, but that's what we're expecting this currently to look like.
And so it's kind of like, should Team UK be looking at getting someone whose job is to warm up in the box for like 17, 18 minutes and then go on at that 18 minutes and get that snitch, and that's their only job.
Although, chipping in actually, like, on this, the keepers, we've got Twist, we've got Hull, we've got Farmer, we've got Craig. That's 4 keepers, so not all of them will necessarily get in.
Yeah.
So maybe what he could get in is just a...
seeker. Yeah, maybe.
Well, we brought this point up because of who we've talked about already a few times, Matty Percival for Leeds. Again, is he not getting the coverage because he's a Leeds player and not a big squad player? But had a fantastic BQC, has had a fantastic season.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of him until this season.
Yeah.
Did he play? I
know he's had a good season, but didn't get the coverage because Leeds are kind of like that mid-tier team. If he was playing for Durham, everyone would be singing his praises.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way that the coverage pans itself, and that's just not a slight on the journalism. It's just the people are more interested in those closer top tier games.
We want to know who the top teams are.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like a player who is a very good chaser if needs be. But like you say, like if you see him in the seeker box ready, he's on his knees doing a weird stretchy thing. I can't get that low.
I can't get that low.
But like he's stretching out, he's ready. It's the seriousness which actually impresses me. I never stretched. Seeking. I just ran at them quickly.
For sure. Maybe we'll end this episode here. Like I would like to know from people, if you're watching this, people who should be on Team UK in your mind but aren't currently on the training squad. You can find the training squad on the Quidditch UK website.
Under announcements, because we had to have a bit of a look.
Yeah. So if you go into the Quidditch UK website, go to announcements, you can find the current squad. Have a look at it. Let us know who you think, who from your team is underrated and should be on this squad. and we would love to discuss them. We'll happily talk about it with you.
I was going to say, I'm going to make a promise I can't keep here, but we'll make another episode discussing Who You Tell Us.
Yeah.
And it won't be the next episode because we film in blocks.
Yeah, yeah.
So it might be a couple of weeks later, but we'll make a discussion on Who You Tell Us.
Yeah, let's do that.
That we want to see in Team UK.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so I've been Matthew Gunsel.
And I'm still Andy Cook.
welcome to In the House. Thanks for watching In the House. Do subscribe down here. Do like us on Facebook and do those things.
You might be able to tweet us by the time we get to this stage.
Mad times. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you very soon. Bye bye now.